Welcome to the Real World Leaders Leadership Portfolio Guidelines. I hope that you will find this very brief PowerPoint presentation helpful as you continue your journey on creating and completing your portfolio for this portion. Remember, your portfolio is actually a live document. You can add on to it throughout this process and even beyond after you leave Clayton State. I hope you found this helpful. Your leadership portfolio is an ongoing reflection of your accomplishments, skills, activities, programs, and other related experiences that have contributed to your personal and professional leadership development. You will create this leadership portfolio to showcase your leadership style, including your key qualities, your strengths and areas of improvements, and your goals. You will create your leadership portfolio using a free website sponsored by Wix. The next couple of slides will give you step-by-step instructions for creating your portfolio, as well as what's included in your portfolio. Furthermore, the deadline for your submission and instructions on how to schedule your presentation. The portfolio will be a website created using Wix. Wix at www.wix.com. Now, this is a free website platform. It is very, very user-friendly. I've created several websites using Wix, and I think that you will find it very easy to manipulate and easy to use for your own website. Very simple. You will go to the website, www.wix.com. You will then click on Get Started. From there, you should see a button that says Sign Up. Click the button that says Sign Up. You're going to get a question that says what kind of website you want to create. You want to select Portfolio and CV. Very important so that you get a website that has the components that you can manipulate to include the items that are required for your portfolio. Next, you would select Create Your Website with the Wix Editor. This allows you to go in and make any changes instead of using a template that is already put together. It's kind of difficult to manipulate, but if you use the Wix editor, it will give you step-by-step instructions on how to add a picture, how to add another tab, etc. Now, this is very important. You want to choose a free template. You can choose any template you would like. You can even switch them around. I think once you get started, if you realize I'm not really feeling this template, you can go back in and choose another one. But the key is to make sure you choose a free template. We will not reimburse you for any money spent. Please choose a free template. Now, here are some things that are required to be included in your portfolio. A headshot should appear on the first page. Make sure your headshot is professional in nature. If you don't have one already, see if you can get someone that is near you at home to take a picture of you, a professional looking headshot. Think about if you were getting ready to apply for your dream job, your dream career, your dream opportunity. What would you want that picture to look like if you had to submit that to someone? That's the type of picture you want to go for, okay? And again, include that on the first page. The Wix editor will help you in instructing you on how you can include those pictures, and you can play around with the layout. Second thing is a personal mission statement. What is a personal mission statement? Well, a personal mission statement forces you to think deeply about your life, and it will require you to clarify the purpose and identify what is truly important to you. That's why it's called a personal mission statement, right? We want you to take this time to clarify and identify your deepest values and aspirations as it relates to your ability to excel in a leadership position on or off campus, or even beyond and in your community. So if you want some additional help, just Google personal mission statements. Use technology to kind of see what is out there when our people are referring to personal mission statements. Next, a bio. Please include a copy of your bio. If you already have one, that's fine. Copy and paste it into there. If you don't create one, this is the time. What your bio should articulate is it should tell others who you are, what you enjoy doing, what you have accomplished. Think as if someone was getting ready to introduce you right before you are about to deliver a keynote address. What would you want the audience to know about you before you begin your address? Next, goals. Each of you have been challenged or charged, I should say, to create 3 to 5 SMART goals. Remember the acronym SMART. Your goal should be specific. You should have a goal that you can identify exactly what it is that you are trying to accomplish. It should be measurable. How can you measure it? Either by time, by amount. There should be some measure, some metrics of measuring your goal. Achievable. Don't put a goal out there that is so far-fetched that you can't even accomplish it in this particular amount of time. So make sure it's achievable. Make sure that it is relevant, and make sure that it is timely, right? It's a realistic, relevant, in the R, and then timely. Make sure that it's a goal that applies to you, applies to your ability to be a leader. It applies to your ability to excel in your profession, in your classwork, in your personal life, and make sure that it is timely. Make sure it is something that you can accomplish in the next semester, the next year, the next 2 years, okay? Now, this part may not apply to each and every one of you because the members who joined in the fall, they took a Strengths Quest assessment, and so they were given top 5 strengths in their assessment report. If this is you, if you have been a real world leader since August of 2019, you are required to include your top 5 strengths. And in including your top 5 strengths, you need to write a 200-word minimum on how your top strengths have impacted your leadership development throughout this year, and how you can use these strengths and even the awareness of the areas you're not as strong in to increase your leadership abilities and development as you go forth. If you were not a real world leader and you did not take the Strengths Quest with us, but you've taken another type of strength assessment, please feel free to use the information from that, and you can still get in on this part. Remember to use the 200-word opportunity so that you can describe what those strengths have done for you in terms of your leadership and how you plan to use those moving forward. If you've never taken a Strengths Quest assessment, I encourage you now to look online, Google some free type of strength assessments or exercise or personality tests, and take one and see what you come up with and find, and use that information to develop a narrative about your strengths and how you can use them. All right, I know it seems like a lot, gang, but hang in there, okay? You can do this. On to the next column, trainings. At this point, we want you to include a 200-word narrative describing your reflection on any trainings you have taken or have partaken in offered at Clayton State. That can be a training in your position as an RA, a training in your position as a member of Greek Life, our student leader development sessions. We've had several of them over the past semester, safe space training, you name it. There are endless trainings you can choose from. We want you to identify at least 2, 3 would be helpful, because as student leaders, you should have been taking advantage of training opportunities offered right here on your campus, okay? So 2 at minimum, 3 will be fantastic, but I want you to write, again, a narrative, include a narrative of your experience with those trainings. Involvement. Now, we know each and every one of you have a plethora of involvement that you can tell us about. So what we want you to do is to describe your role and responsibilities when it comes to student organizations or other leadership positions you have on campus. That's bullet point number 1 under involvement. Number 2, I want you to provide a community engagement profile. What have you done in terms of community service? How have you engaged on and off campus in community service? I want you to include some information on that. And point 3, provide a narrative, 200-word minimum, on your accomplishments and contributions as a result of your involvement. As a result of being the president of said organization, I have accomplished blah, blah, blah. As a result of completing 400 service hours, I have accomplished blah, blah, blah. Also include if you landed any internships, if you were granted any opportunities to speak, join other organizations. Some of you may have changed leadership roles from one semester to the next. Maybe you've gone from a member to an executive member, or from an executive member to the president. Did you get invited to sit on any committees across campus? Think about all the things that you have gotten or accomplished. Y'all know I'm gonna talk the way I talk, I know, but the things that you have accomplished that can be related and a direct result of your involvement. This is important because this is how you're gonna tie in your experience. You know how when you go to apply for a job and they ask for experience? Well, as students, it's kind of difficult to note what experience you may have because you've been in school for the last couple of years. This is where you're able to note that experience, and where employers or prospectives can look into your portfolio and make that connection. They can make that correlation as to what you've done in terms of your leadership and involvement, and how it may have led to your ability to say you have experience. Yes, you've been in school for 3, 4, 5, 6 years, but you can use this as an opportunity to say you have experience. Next, mentorship. Mentorship is an important part of your leadership development process, as identifying a mentor and participating in active mentorship, identifying and providing the description of your mentor and a narrative of your expectations of your mentorship or experience. Some of your mentorships have just begun. Hopefully, my leaders who have been around since fall, you were supposed to identify this and have this done by November. But for those who are new and who are just joining us, I'm sure you have engaged in some sort of dedicated mentorship. Now, I'm not just talking about somebody you claim as your mentor and they don't even know they're your mentor. You haven't had active mentorship. That means active engagements, whether it's been one-on-ones, either phone calls, in person, some sort of growth and development tracking that have taken place between you and your mentor. That's what we mean by mentorship. Now, we're not talking about you mentoring someone else. I admire that about many of our student leaders, that you are mentors, and that is admirable, and I want you to keep that up. But I am talking about some mentorship that you have engaged in as a mentee. So again, for this portion, I want you to identify who your mentor is. Give some words and description as to why you selected this person to be your mentor. Please tell us about your mentor journey. What did that look like? Did you have one-on-ones? Did you meet virtually? What did you do to engage with your mentor? What did that look like? And describe your experience from that mentorship relationship, and even your expectations. What did you expect going in? How did that, your expectations, have they been met? Are they still ongoing? Include that in the mentorship. And lastly, we are at the end. Now, this part, each and every one of you should already have, okay, is a resume. You should have a resume. Again, you should have a resume. If you don't, I gotta say it, honestly, shame on you, especially to my senior leaders. That's my juniors and my seniors. If you're a freshman watching this, if you even are a sophomore, I give you a little bit of a break, but not much, because to whom much is given, much is required and much is expected. When you get into college, you are one step on the college campus, on your safety net, and you are one step out into society, okay? You're not going to get much breaks when you get into society. At this point, each of you should have a resume, but if you don't, take the time to create a resume. Ideally, I would hope that each of you have had a resume and have taken advantage of our career services on campus and have had your resume reviewed and critiqued so that it can be top-notch for you. Now, please feel free to visit the Career Service website by going to clayton.edu and clicking on Career Services to see what online options they may have if you have not had your resume critiqued, but you do not want to upload on your portfolio a resume that's a work in progress. I'm not saying a work in progress in terms of you need to still add developments, because we're all adding to our resume as we develop, as we change leadership roles, as we move up in the workplace. I'm talking about a resume that is just not up to par, and you have not had a professional look over it and critique it to make sure that it is your very best work. After all, this portfolio link is going to be something you want to use with you you want to use, as you go to apply for jobs, if you apply for internships, you want to be able to say in your letter, your interest letter, to know more about me, check out my portfolio website at blah, blah, blah. I cannot tell you how impressive that is. I have gotten that a few times, not as many as I would like, from people who have been interested in student assistantships, graduate assistantships, or even other opportunities. And if I see that, I'm already like lighting up, like, wow, this person has really been taking their leadership, their growth, and their development very much so serious. All right, so here's some instructions for your leadership portfolio. You will submit your leadership portfolio link to the Real World Leaders group in Campus Labs using the following link. I'll also send like a copy of this slide via email so that you can click on the link if for some reason you can't access it from the PowerPoint. But you will click on that link, and that's how you're going to submit your link for your portfolio. Your portfolio link, the deadline is April 1st. It's not an April Fool's joke. Your deadline to submit your link is April 1st. However, I suggest not waiting until April 1st. You can actually go submit your link the minute you create it, or you can submit it today, or whatever day it is after you finish reading this portfolio. Because what happens is we just already have a record of your link, which means you're working on it or you've already completed it, but it's a working document. Again, your portfolio doesn't lock. It's not like once you submit the link, you can't go back in and change, add, update. You submitting the link, go ahead and take that off your plate so you don't have to worry about it. But what you do want to do is make sure by April 1st, you have all of the requirements and the components that we've just discussed listed in your portfolio. But up until April 1st, you can go and make all kind of changes. We're not going to access your links until after April 1st, or April 2nd, I should say, so that we can see that you have those components, and we kind of have a checklist so that we can check off, okay, this person has their headshot, they have their bio, they have their involvement, they have their resume, their mentorship, etc., etc. Presentations. Each leader, specifically the leaders in the Real World Student Leader Program. However, if you are not in the Student Leader Program, you will still be invited to present your portfolio. I hope that you took advantage of this opportunity and have created a portfolio. So we're going to invite you to present as well. We invite you to submit the link as well. Portfolio presentations will take place April 6th and April 7th via Zoom teleconference. That means that we are going to set up a Zoom teleconference meeting, and you will get the link. It will be on your calendar. You will just click that link and it will take you to the Zoom teleconference meeting, and we will be able to present from there. Now, what's going to happen is you all need to complete the doodle poll at the link here. Again, I will send this to you in an email so that it'll be easy access. If you are not on my student leader email link and you have just joined the Real World and you are unable to access these links, send me an email and I will send it directly to you. But you will complete the doodle poll, and at the doodle poll, you'll select either April 6th or April 7th. The times have been blocked out from 11:30 to 1 for both sessions. You don't have to attend both sessions. I highly encourage you. It would be great to have that support, but you must attend the one that you're going to present at. So if you say I'm going to present April 6th, then you obviously have to be present for April 6th, or if you say April 7th, you have to be present for April 7th. If you are unavailable either of those days, and we need some real valid excuses, guys. If we be honest, many of us are not working in essential jobs that require us to report to a workplace. So if we be 100, you kind of should be available to log in on those days. But if you are not, then you will then be required to send me your validation of why you're not available during those time slots, and we will schedule an individual session with you. This doodle poll needs to be completed by March 30th. That's next Monday. You don't have a lot of time. By March 30th, okay? It needs to be completed. So take some time, click on the link right now, and go ahead and complete that doodle poll so that we can go ahead and begin to see who's going to be scheduled to present. Your presentations, practice. You will only have 3 minutes. 3 minutes. We will say time and we will stop you. Some of you had some great practice of this back at our September Real World meeting. You will have 3 minutes to present your portfolio. We're not asking you to read word for word everything in your portfolio. We want a synopsis of your portfolio. And in the Zoom teleconference, we will do a thing where we allow you to share your screen, and you will share your screen. So we will be able to see your portfolio as you navigate through it, clicking the links. And so you will have control over it for 3 minutes, okay? So my word of advice to you is to practice that now, all right? So hopefully all of this information has been helpful for you. If not, you can always send me an email, shoot me a message in IG, send me a text message if you have my cell number, and say, I'm lost, I'm confused, I need a little help, I need some clarity. Do not wait till April 1st to do that, leaders. You do that as soon as you come across that problem so that you can have everything taken care of by April 1st. For those who are just joining, it's okay if you don't meet the deadline. And I'm not talking about leaders who are just joining, the real world leaders. If you're already a member of the real world leaders, even if you just joined in January or became a leader in your position that qualified you for the real world leaders, you are responsible to have this done by April 1st. But some of my other leaders, I got some great inquiries from leaders across campus who are presidents of other organizations who are not considered university-sponsored organizations. That's a whole nother story. I can talk to you about that. That doesn't mean that your organization is less than. That is just a qualification that is applied to certain student organizations. And so if you have just said, hey, I want to know what this real world leader thing is about, and you joined it, cool. The April 1st deadline does not apply to you, but I encourage you to take this time to do so if you can. Most of the information you should already have in hand. All right. Lastly, I wanted to leave you with 2 of our leadership portfolios from 2 of our formal members. Both of these young ladies have graduated, and I can see that some of them have gone back and added some more things to their portfolio since the last time they presented on it. But I found these 2 to be extremely helpful if you just want to take a look and see how some portfolios have been put together and kind of what our expectations are for you. All right. So take a look at these notable leadership portfolios. Don't forget the dates. You need to do your doodle poll by March 30th. So click on the link and do the doodle poll as soon as possible. By April 1st, you need to submit the link to your portfolio, but you can do that before then. And then on April 6th and April 7th, you will present your portfolios. All right, that's been my time. A little over 20 minutes, but it's worth it. Take some time and listen to this PowerPoint, review the information so that you can get your portfolios up and running. I will see you guys on April 6th and April 7th.